Welcome to Silent Kin Stories. Here you'll discover a mix of different stories. If you enjoy them, subscribe and join me on this journey. Before sunrise, a tired young person stares at the ceiling, feeling lost. Life feels stuck, dreams feel distant, and doubt feels heavy. A quiet thought rises inside. Maybe today could be different. They sit up slowly, unsure why, but sensing something small has begun to change within them. The morning routine feels the same as always. Same road, same noise, same exhaustion. Yet the thought from earlier stays alive. It whispers that nothing will change unless they change something. For the first time in months, they wonder if one small decision today could shift their future. At midday, they watch others working with focus and discipline. It hits them that success rarely comes from sudden luck. It comes from repeated effort. The realization feels uncomfortable but powerful. Maybe they don't need a perfect opportunity. Maybe they only need to start, even if the beginning feels small. That evening, instead of wasting time, they write one goal on paper. It isn't huge or impressive, but it's real. Seeing the words makes their heart race. For the first time, their dream exists outside their head. They decide tomorrow they will take one simple step toward it. Morning doubt arrives fast. Their mind lists excuses, fears, and past failures. But the written goal stares back at them. Instead of quitting, they act. Just one step. It feels awkward and tiny, yet strangely powerful. Something inside them realizes movement, however small, is stronger than endless thinking. Days pass, and motivation fades, but they keep showing up. They learn progress is boring, repetitive, and quiet. No one notices, but they do. Each small effort builds a hidden strength. Slowly, they understand discipline isn't about excitement. It's about continuing even when nothing feels rewarding yet. A mistake happens. Something fails badly. Embarrassment burns, and quitting feels tempting again. Old thoughts return, telling them they aren't capable. But instead of stopping, they pause and breathe. For the first time, they ask what the failure can teach them instead of letting it define them. They try again, this time smarter. The fear hasn't vanished, but it doesn't control them anymore. They realize courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite it. This thought feels freeing. For the first time, failure looks less like an ending and more like a step forward. 1 week becomes 2. Small habits begin forming. They wake earlier, think clearer, and waste less time. Life hasn't dramatically changed yet, but something inside has. They feel slightly more in control, slightly more hopeful. That tiny shift in mindset feels bigger than any visible success so far. They notice their energy improving. Tasks that once felt heavy now feel manageable. They begin to trust themselves a little. This new self-trust feels unfamiliar but exciting. It reminds them that change isn't always loud. Sometimes it grows quietly until one day it becomes impossible to ignore. An opportunity appears, but it's intimidating. The old version of them would avoid it. This time they hesitate, then say yes. Their heart pounds with uncertainty. Yet deep down, they know this moment matters. Growth rarely feels safe, and stepping forward now feels like choosing a new identity. The challenge is harder than expected. Doubt returns, but now they know doubt isn't truth. They continue anyway. Each attempt builds skill and confidence. Even imperfect progress feels meaningful. They begin to understand that bravery isn't about winning immediately. It's about refusing to walk away from the effort. Some people question their change. They hear quiet criticism and laughter. It stings, but they stay focused. They realize not everyone will understand their journey, and that's okay. Approval isn't required for growth. What matters is continuing forward, even if the path feels lonely at times. Their routine strengthens. What once felt forced now feels normal. Effort becomes habit. They no longer rely on bursts of motivation. Instead, they rely on consistency. This shift feels powerful because it means progress no longer depends on mood. It depends on commitment, and that feels far more reliable. A small success finally appears. It isn't life-changing, but it's real. Seeing results from their effort fills them with quiet pride. It proves their actions matter. That proof fuels them more than any speech or advice ever could. They begin to believe their future truly can be shaped. Encouraged, they push forward with renewed focus. The journey still feels long, but now it feels possible. Each day adds experience and strength. They start noticing opportunities instead of obstacles. Their perspective shifts from survival to progress, and that mental change feels like stepping into a brighter world. A difficult day almost breaks their rhythm. Exhaustion and frustration build, and quitting whispers again. But instead of stopping completely, they do something small. That tiny action saves the day. They realize success isn't about perfect days, it's about refusing to let bad days become stopping points. They begin to see resilience forming inside them. Problems that once felt overwhelming now feel solvable. They aren't fearless, but they're stronger. This strength doesn't come from talent, it comes from persistence. Understanding this makes them feel empowered, because persistence is something they can always control. They notice someone else struggling the way they once did. Without thinking, they offer encouragement. Hearing their own words surprises them. They sound confident, supportive, and hopeful. It dawns on them that they'd become the kind of person they once needed. That realization feels deeply meaningful. Looking back, they barely recognize the person they were months ago. The fear, hesitation, and inaction feel distant now. They understand growth isn't one big moment. It's many small decisions stacked together. Seeing this pattern gives them confidence that future goals can be reached the same way. Their dreams grow bigger. What once felt impossible now feels like a challenge worth attempting. They stop asking whether they can change their life and start asking how far they can go. This shift from doubt to curiosity fills them with excitement about what lies ahead. Effort becomes part of their identity. They don't force themselves to try anymore, they simply do. Discipline feels natural now. This new identity gives them stability because it isn't based on results, it's based on who they become through the journey of consistent effort. A major obstacle suddenly appears, bigger than anything before. For a moment, fear freezes them, but instead of panicking, they breathe and think. They've faced hard things before. This time, they break the challenge into steps, trusting the process that carried them this far. They move through the challenge slowly but steadily. Progress feels slow yet real. Each step strengthens their confidence again. They realize obstacles don't disappear when you grow, your ability to handle them grows. That understanding makes the problem feel less like a wall and more like a test. A breakthrough finally comes. Something works. It's not overnight success, but it's meaningful proof of how far they've come. The feeling isn't loud celebration, it's quiet satisfaction. They understand this moment exists only because they refuse to stop during the uncertain parts of the journey. They pause and feel gratitude. They remember the early mornings, the doubts, the failures, and the tiny steps. Each one mattered. Without those moments, this progress wouldn't exist. Gratitude strengthens their motivation, reminding them that even difficult days play an important role in success. They share their story with someone who feels lost. Speaking about their journey helps them see it clearly. They realize their struggles weren't pointless. They were preparation. Helping someone else find hope makes their own journey feel even more meaningful and confirms how much they've grown. They understand now that growth never truly ends. Every milestone becomes a starting line for something new. Instead of fearing the future, they feel ready for it. The unknown doesn't scare them anymore, because they trust their ability to keep moving forward no matter what happens. Standing at the edge of a new chapter, they feel calm confidence. They don't know exactly what comes next, but they know how to face it. They've learned that progress is built daily, choice by choice, and that knowledge feels more valuable than any single achievement. Morning light fills the room again, just like before, but this time, they rise without hesitation. They no longer wonder if life can change, they know it can. With steady confidence, they step into the day, ready to keep growing, building, and becoming stronger than yesterday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next stories.